Hello everyone and welcome to the weird, scary and horrible parts of humanity. Today we are looking at the 1975 Dutch Train Hostage Crisis, which coincided with the Indonesian Consulate Hostage Crisis. By the way, we will be exploring the more infamous 1977 Dutch School Hostage Crisis and 1977 Dutch Train Hijacking, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of when that video comes out. Both hostage crises were committed by Moluccan youths. The Maluku Islands is an archipelago in the east of Indonesia consisting of 3.1 million people, with 1,000 islands within the territory, which is part of Indonesia. The Republic of South Maluku is an unrecognized secessionist republic claiming the islands of Ambon, Bugo and Serman. Following Indonesian independence in 1949 from the Netherlands, the Republic of South Maluku was established in April 1950, with leaders stipulating autonomy for each of the states of the federation. Following the defeat of the Republic of South Maluku in the capital of Maluku, Ambon, in November 1950, the government of the Republic of South Maluku, under self-declared President Chris Soumokil, withdrew to Seram, with an armed struggle continuing until 1963. In 1966, Soumokil was captured on Seram Island by Indonesian authorities, and on the order of President Suharto, he was executed on the 12th of April 1966 on Ubi Island, north of Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. As a result, the exiled government moved to the Netherlands in the same year and became a government in exile. The government joined other South Moluccans who had migrated to the Netherlands following Indonesia's independence in April 1950 and were promised by the Dutch government that they would get their own independent state. However, for 25 years, some 40,000 Moluccans lived in poor conditions in temporary camps, with many individuals stateless and refused Dutch settlement. They lived in 63 government settlements. Younger generations began feeling betrayed by the Dutch government and resorted to terrorism in order to draw attention to their case. At 7:10 a.m. on the 2nd of December 1975, on a local train consisting of two two-speed NS Mats 54 numbers 328 and 278 from Groningen to Zwolle, a distance of 105 kilometers and a train trip of about an hour, the emergency cord was pulled, causing the train to come to an immediate halt at Worcester. There were a total of 41 passengers, one driver and one conductor on board. Of the passengers, 16 were children. In addition, there were a total of 7 hijackers, led by Elisa Jante Haruer, who went by Ellie, who was aged 23. All of the hijackers were from Bovensmilder. Driver Hans Braam was immediately killed by Moluccan youths, who hijacked the train, demanding that the Dutch government give them their own independent territory in Indonesia as promised. A military roadblock was immediately created with the train surrounded by the Dutch military. The hijackers attempted to kill passenger Rob de Groot, who managed to jump from the train. Hijackers then proceeded to shoot at him, and he pretended to be dead for 5 minutes on the tracks before escaping. Psychiatrist Dr. Hank Havenier negotiated with the hijackers on the train. 2 days later, 7 armed Moluccans raided the Indonesian Consulate in Amsterdam in support of a train hijacking, with terrorists moving towards the top floor of the consulate building. Several employees of the Indonesian Consulate were able to climb out utilizing a rope. One attempted to jump to the ground but fell 30 feet, dying on the 9th of December 1975 in hospital. On the 5th of December, 22-year-old passenger Leo Butler, who was a national serviceman, was murdered, and the bodies of Butler and Braam were thrown onto the tracks. That night, 14 hostages managed to escape from the rear of the train, including the train's conductor. On the 6th of December, passenger Bert Beerling, who was an economist, was brought to the doors of a train and shot dead, with his body thrown onto the tracks. The bodies of Braam, Beerling and Butler were only able to be collected a couple of days later following negotiations between the hijackers and the Dutch military. However, the Dutch government refused to capitulate to the demands of hijackers. President in exile of the Republic of South Maluku, Jonas Alvarez Mansumar, as well as the widow of Soumokil, Josina Soumokil-Taniwel, both acted as mediators, attempting to encourage the hijackers to surrender. On the 14th of December 1975, the Moluccan hijackers surrendered due to reports of reprisals in the Moluccan Islands and sub-zero temperatures in and around the train. In total, 3 people had been killed and 4 were wounded. All of the hijackers were immediately arrested. Meanwhile, the hostage situation in the Indonesian consulate continued, with around 60 people held hostage inside the consulate. The Moluccans asked for the release of several South Moluccan political prisoners and for talks to begin between Indonesian President Suharto and South Moluccan President Johan Mansumar. However, the Dutch government refused to capitulate until all of the children in the consulate were released. After 12 children in the consulate building were released, the Moluccans gathered the remaining 4 children onto a third-floor balcony and threatened to push them over the edge if their demands were not met, but they chose not to push any of the children over the edge. The crisis situation ended peacefully, bar the one death during the attempted escape of occupants of the consulate building, when on the 19th of December 1975 the Dutch authorities and Indonesian authorities promised to meet regarding the Republic of South Molucca, but these talks ultimately came to nothing. The hijackers of the train were sentenced to 14 years in jail in Wijnschoten, with Haure committing suicide in prison in 1978. The Moluccans involved in the raid on the Indonesian consulate were sentenced to 7 years in prison. In 1978, the train hostage situation was featured in an episode of the TV series Life at Stake. In 1980, the book Not Here But in Another Place, The Hostages of Wijster, Amsterdam, De Punt and Bovismede was released, detailing the train hostage crisis and the Indonesian consulate hostage crisis. Journalist Geert Wilders was on board the train, and at the time Wilders was editor of the then Dutch newspaper Nieuwsblad van het Noorden. Wilders wrote the book Ice, Flowers and White Fields in 1989, detailing the hostage situation. Additionally, one of the hijackers of the train, then 18-year-old Cornelis Fenel, wrote the book Korban, the story of a Moluccan activist in 1998. In May 2008, the Dutch-language television film Wijster was broadcast on the Dutch public broadcaster VARA and dramatised the train hostage crisis. The script was written by the foster daughter of Geert Wilders, Nicolette Stegerda. Thank you for watching. Please do yourself a favour and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to inform yourself of when new videos come out. Also, why not hit that like button and leave a nice comment? It helps more than you know and your support is truly appreciated. Until next time, stay awesome, stay classy, be kind to everyone you meet, have an amazing day, and remember that truth is always more interesting than fiction.